Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop. Today we're going to start on the AirKing radio that I got from Bill, the old goat, and see what we can do with it. He's already gone through it electrically, so really all I'm going to do probably is take a look at what he did. And I'm going to remove it from the case. I'm going to get this case cleaned up. As you can see here, I hit it just lightly with the buffer. I did that the day I got it, and I did that because I wanted to see what would happen to it so I could do it on the Mantola, which is what I did. I just quickly hit it for about 10 seconds here. So when I saw it was going to turn out good, that's when I went ahead and did the Mantola. I'm going to shut this heater off. Okay, so the one thing I did notice is it has got a cracked side right here. You guys can see that. So let's go ahead and pull the knobs off. I set them in that little tube there. I got a new fiber washer that I can use in place of this one. Alright. Let's go ahead and take these screws out. Get my hand out of the way. Okay. Move the radio chassis over to the side for the moment. I need to restring that. And do a couple other things to it too, but really what I want to get done right now is get this case glued. I'm going to glue it, and I'm probably going to put some epoxy on the inside to help shore it up. Bill taped it, which is good because it held it together for shipping purposes. And the grill is metal. When I was looking at the grill, it's gold. You can see that. It is gold. It's got some sort of an imprint, these lines, and of course the king for the AirKing. I'd like to be able to clean this up and polish this if at all possible, but I don't know if it's going to be possible with this raised section. Yeah. So I'll see what to do with that. Also, if you can see that, the words AirKing are in there. I'm going to want to put that back in there with some gold Sharpie or something, if at all possible. So, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's a little globe. It looks like a little globe of the world. So, alright. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this case glued. A little bit of cracks right through here. I don't know if I'm going to worry about those though. I might just feed some super glue in from the inside of the cabinet. Okay, let me get this tape out. We'll come back. Bill, I want you to know, I don't know what tape you used here, but that is some of the best, stickiest tape that I have ever seen. I didn't think I was going to get that off of there. It pulled off cleanly, don't get me wrong, but boy did it adhere nicely. That's good tape. So here's the crack. If we look at this a little closer, I can kind of pull it together pretty good, nice and tight. So I'm hoping I can get enough super glue in there for it to set. I'm going to try and put it in from the inside so I don't have as much on the outside. So I'm going to take this off camera to do this because I don't want to be blocking you to do it. And I want to move it over the bench so I can see it a little bit better with my magnifier. So let me get the glue in there and then we'll come back. Okay, so what I did is I took the super glue I spread the gap. I put a screwdriver in like this and had a gap, and then I separated it this way so that this piece was sticking out, so that I could get a good coat all the way down the crack. And then I put it together. I clamped it. It's not perfect right here, but I'm going to have to sand this anyway. And then so I put a layer of, hopefully you guys are in camera, put a layer of glue, get the light to shine in there maybe a little bit. I put a layer of glue all the way down and down the front, because there was a crack down the front right here too. And then I also put some right there where it was cracked right here in the front. And I've clamped it, and I'm going to leave that clamp on it overnight. And then tomorrow sometime I'm going to come back with some rough sandpaper. I'm going to sand this a little bit in here, and then I'll put a thin layer of epoxy on that from the inside to help reinforce it. And I think that will probably take care of those cracks. And it'll just be a matter of me sanding this up and buffing it. So I noticed that the metal piece must be somehow glued in here. I haven't tried to get it out. I'm afraid of bending it. So I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that when I get a little bit later to it. But for now, we're going to set this off to the side and bring the chassis up into view. So if I was smart, I'd probably go ahead and cover this speaker up. Still got my Mantolo on here. Probably stick on there. Yeah, I should do it. Let me do that. Okay. So I got my cover on the speaker. Getting ready to take the screws off for this dial plate. And I'll flip those screws into the baggie. And let's take a look and see what we got here with this dial string. Bill said he left me a lot of dial string in here, so yep, got it on a block, so good. All right. My magnifier in here and kind of see what I'm looking at. Okay, there's our one end's going to go there. So I must not have had any pulleys on this situation. So I would think that this is going to go like this, and I'm sure we should be closed, which is up there is closed. That won't work, so we're going to have to go this way through the hole, I think. Like that. And then we're going to have to wrap around that shaft a couple, 2 or 3 times now. Whether or not I'm on the right wrap of the shaft will yet to be seen. I'm going to do 3 turns on it. Like that. And then the next wrap has got to go back out the hole. There we go. Hopefully it didn't come off of that shaft. We'll go around that way. And then we're going to go around this way. Let's see here now. So, question is, do we go around like that and back to the spring? I don't know. I think that's probably the way it goes right there. Let's get this little knot tied up here. At this point I don't have stringing instructions, so I'm just kind of winging this. I think I'm going to have to do that knot a little further down. I think I got to undo the knot before I can get it further down, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. But that's where I'm going to hook it for testing purposes. If I can get it in there. There we go. Alright. One thing for sure, it either will or it won't work, one of the two. Okay. I think that's got it. You're not off by far. You're not off by far. Because its string still isn't super tight yet either. I think the more I work it, the more it's gonna allow that to get on in there. Plus that knot is not tight yet, so. Okay, I think that's right. So let's go ahead and take the spring back out. See if I can get just a smidgy more length on that. I don't know if I can or not. We might be okay actually. And the knot's perfect. It's exactly where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and put try to keep from getting too much on there and glue the thing to the wheel. Come on. There we go. I think I've got too much, but I think it'll be alright. I think it'll be alright. Now I can cut my string off here. Okay. Alright. So there we are. Yep, get my wire stuck over there. Oops. Alright, so we're good. Now I just got to get the needle stuck on there. So here's the needle and the face. Face is not perfect, but it's not that bad. If I get this tape off of here. Now, if we're all the way closed, it'll be all the way up. Now, I don't know if that's the way this thing's supposed to operate. I could have it backwards for all I know. But, I'm going to try and clean this up a little bit. I'm a little nervous about this. I can't tell if this is dirt or what. I'm going to try some of my method on it, but I'm not holding a whole lot of hope on that. Let me do that real quick. Okay, I got through cleaning it up, folks, and it turned out pretty good, I think. I just took some good old hand rubbing polishing compound and rubbed the heck out of it. I think that it's got some spots where it might have rusted a little bit, like right here, that little spot does not want to come out, and some of the little ones up and through here, but just old-fashioned hard rubbing. So it's cleaner than it was. I think behind a plate it'll look pretty good. So that's where I'm leaving it, I think. Let's get this screwed on. Okay, everybody, I got it on there. And it cleaned up, looks good. I got the bulb paste in there as well. The needle itself, I may have to straighten that up just a smidgy. And there's a little piece of red missing on the top. I'll probably touch up with a marker. But for the most part, it works. And I've got it pretty much lined up over the dots. At full travel that way. And full travel this way. I think our needle's bent just slightly, so once I get that straightened out, in fact I'll just do that right now. It looks pretty good. So yeah, there we go. Got a working dial. Put it about center. Perfect. Sweet. Good stuff. Alright, that's all we're doing for tonight. I'll come back in the morning after I've had a chance for my case to set up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got the AirKing out of the clamp where I glued the side. That's where I glued it, and also where I glued the front down inside there in that vicinity. And I think I'm going to take right through here, which is on the back side of that. I'm going to mix up some epoxy and spread a little epoxy in there, but I think I'm going to take my little die grinding sander first and rough that up a little bit. Let me get that done. Okay, so I got that roughed up pretty good in there. I think you can see that. Get some light on it. Now I'm going to mix up some epoxy and spread inside there on that. We'll get that done and we'll be back. Okay, so I got the epoxy in there, a nice solid coat going from there all the way up. I also went ahead and put some on a little crack that I saw here. I roughed up first, and then same here, that was the face. Now that one That one looks a little more goobery because this epoxy was starting to set up at that point, but it didn't need much reinforcement, so I think it'll be fine. Also, that radio doesn't go all the way up and touch that, so that should be fine as well. That one there, the radio might sit on that a little bit. I may have to adjust because of that, but that should hold things a lot better. Now, what I'm getting ready to do is take this over and sand this with some 600 grit to try and level this all out. I'm not going to bother to show you that. I'll do that off camera and I will bring it back over and show you guys. So I've sanded this quickly with some 600 grit and it's all level now. I have a slight defect right here, if that's showing up in the camera, that I'm going to fill with a little bit of epoxy. A little defect right there and there. And I may or may not touch those with epoxy. This one's big enough that'll show. These two I think will just be a little speck. Also did the other side. Had a couple of defects on it, so I got those off. And I think that'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and mix up a little bit of epoxy for that. Once that sets up, I'll hit it one more time with the 600 to level that out. And then I'll be taking it over to the buffer, just like I did the Mantola radio. I'm not going to bother to show you guys that because it was pretty extensive on the Mantola. Same process, only this one's smaller. Should be much easier. So let me get that done. Alright everybody, I got the AirKing cabinet done, as much as I'm going to do it, I think. So here's the top, there's the front, there's the side that was broke. You can still, if you get the light just right, you can still see the crack, but it's in there solid, it's not going anywhere. And I think it overall looks pretty dang awesome. The other side, on the bottom, I think overall it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I think what I'm going to wind up doing is putting 4 of those little rubber feet on the bottom of it, because this is going to sit on a counter up in my kitchen, and I won't want it sliding around. So that's the cabinet. Now the next step is I'm going to put a front in this, not glass and not plexiglass. I actually have some of the well, it's the stuff I make the dial faces. I'll show it to you. It's the heavy sheet of, I guess you'd call it like cellophane or something, I guess. But I'm going to make a front for that. So that'll be the next step. Measure some dimensions and I will get that cut out. Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the polishing of this was actually the easy part. It probably took me 20 minutes to polish it. Hard part was getting all of the polish out of all the creases and nooks and crannies on this thing. That took me about 2 hours to do, and using a needle like that, and a pick like that, and a little screwdriver like that, and a rag. About 2 hours to get all that picked out of there. I think it was worth the effort though. Alright, so I cut a piece out of that cellophane I was showing you, and it's 2x3. It's not perfectly square, but it's inside, it's not too far off. But anyway, what I'm planning on doing to attach this is I've got this two-sided carpet tape, and I'll tell you what, this is some of the stickiest carpet tape I've ever seen and used. So I think it'll hold it in there fine. I'm just going to cut some strips off of here and we'll stick it on there. First I got to take the cellophane off of one side. We'll take it off that side. let's get the rest of this tape off of here. This is going to stick so well, I'm not too worried about the little spot there and there that I don't have covered. Alright, let's get the radio over here, or the cabinet. I'm going to have to put this where I can see it, guys, and not so much you guys. So let me get this stuck in there and then I'll pick it up and show you. Alright, that's what we got. It's in there. Now all I got to do is peel the film off of this side. There we go. All right. Getting down to the nitty-gritty in New York City here. Okay, so I've got the chassis back into the cabinet now. Getting ready to, got these new fiber washers I'm going to put on here. I might as well do that. What I was contemplating was if I was going to try and do that AirKing with gold. And the more I thought about it, I decided I would probably really screw it up if I tried it, so I decided against it. The other thing I was doing was just double checking on the radio, make sure Bill hadn't left me any notes, and it's a good thing I did because he had. There's a capacitor I needed to ground to the chassis, and I did that. And then I installed it. So now I'm getting ready to clean up these knobs. I'll get those cleaned up, we'll get them on there, and I'll be right back. Alright folks, here is the AirKing that I got from Bill the old goat, and as far as I'm concerned, I think it turned out nice. It's done. Let me flip it up a little bit here for you to see it. That's the front, the top, that side, that side. Let's turn it on. I've got it on my local station right now.
Liberal, but here's Mika Brzezinski raising a few eyebrows. Clip 28.
I don't care. And by the way, you can have a private conversation. There have been many. There have been many in the run-up to Barack Obama. A lot of people had conversations about whether or not America was ready for an African-American president. There is also private conversations as to whether or not America...
It's really the only one that I get, but I don't have my AM transmitter hooked up, so...
Defenseman of the Winnipeg Jets to come up big. Draw to the right of Hellebuck. Hayes puts it in the airboard. Keane from the left point.
Picking up that station, so cool.
Get it over right for the left wrist of Tivoli. In front of the net.
The biggest accusation carried forward on the night before the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings came from none other than Michael Avenatti, that dirtbag. So the point is, Democrats have always been quick to take the women's side, and listen, this is a pro-woman show. It's ladies' night on the show today right now. We're giving out wristbands. We've got 3 female guests coming up. So we're a pretty pro-woman show, but we're pro-truth, we're pro-logic more than any gender, okay? And that's where I applaud Mika Brzezinski, which is not something you'll hear every day on the show, because she's looking at the body of work of both individuals. And she's looking at the full scope of Elizabeth Warren deciding to bust out this sexism allegation now. We've just gotten reports that Bernie has surged past her in the polls.
So that'll take care of the AirKing. I thank you, Bill, for selling it to me. I'm real happy with the way it turned out. This is going to go up in my kitchen and sit up on our kitchen counter. And it's going to make a nice little addition up there. So from Gregg at Gregg's Vintage Workshop, I thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and we will move forward. I think the next project I've got coming up is the Heathkit IG-102. Again, thank you for watching.